And now the fate of this third plan looms in this moment. We are expecting White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre to address the looming deadline and this new plan within the hour. We will bring you that as soon as it starts live. But first, let's get to News Nation's Joe Khalil, who is on Capitol Hill among all of this chaos. Joe, what are you monitoring?
So I can tell you that the bottom line here at this moment, Natasha, is there is a third attempt that the Speaker's office now says will move forward. That bill would avoid a government shutdown. When I say one bill, it's actually three bills that are supposedly going to get three separate votes. One would extend government funding as it is right now up until March. A second vote would also give hurricane victims disaster relief money. And then a third would be economic assistance to farmers. Some of it because the economy has just been hard over the last 2 years for farmers. And some would be disaster relief for the farmers whose crop was devastated by those storms. That is what the Congress is looking at right now. For those at home, what that means is that the government would feasibly remain open. That means military members would still get their paychecks. That means that if you've got VA money coming in, that would not be delayed. And generally, that means that many federal workers who might otherwise be furloughed would keep working through the holidays. So all of that very important if Congress is able to pass all three of these bills, or at least one being the one that extends government funding. We just don't know whether that's going to happen. We don't know if any one of these three will have enough votes to pass. Natasha, as we know, this has been a very chaotic situation over the last 3 days. Everything is very fluid. I cannot stress that enough. We saw way more Republicans vote against their own party's bill last night than we expected to. And frankly, I can tell you that the Speaker's office, and they've really been the key driver of these packages and these bills, they were even surprised at just how many Republicans opposed what they tried to do last night in extending the government. This started out with a bill that was about this thick, 1,500 pages. Yesterday, it dwindled down to just 116 pages. So they've cut out a large chunk of what was originally attempted to pass. It was a big, giant bill that had a whole lot of extra money that was spent on things that, frankly, a lot of Republicans didn't like. There were some things that they did like, but they thought it's too much to just put in a bill that should exclusively be for keeping the government open. So this is where we are now. This is the state of play. We've seen Donald Trump weigh in a bit, but a key measure that he wanted in these bills, which would be increasing the debt limit, effectively allowing the government not to default on its debts, that is no longer going to be in here. And that was, I'm told, one reason a lot of Republicans opposed the bill last night. So if you take that out, does it now get more votes? We are going to find out later today. One thing I'll add, in about a half hour from now, Republicans will be huddling all together as a party, Natasha. Ultimately, they're going to decide how specifically and mechanically they're going to move forward with these votes. But that's our understanding, is these votes are going to happen sometime later this afternoon, and we will see very soon what the outcome is.
Yeah, Joe, you know, the real question, I think, are the votes there, either in the House or the Senate, especially since this does need some Democratic support? Is that right?
It looks like this is going to need Democratic support because there are a handful of Republicans who we know will absolutely not vote for any what we call a CR here, a temporary stopgap measure, just on principle. So it seems like Republicans are going to need some Democrats to move this forward. Now, the biggest driver of that for Democrats to come to the table might just be the calendar. Christmas is around the corner. If Congress doesn't get this figured out, that means they're going to likely be here for Christmas and continue to work through until the government is funded. I can tell you, as much as that may seem like it doesn't matter, it absolutely does. They want to get out of here. Many of them have family plans. That's going to be a big driver of the pressure here to get both sides to come together. So do they have the votes? That is an evergreen question that we're always trying to answer, especially with this Congress. We'll find out in short order here.
We will. Joe Khalil monitoring this for us. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.